dog knew before you walked through the door. Not that you were coming, that something was wrong. You hadn't said a word. Your face was arranged correctly. You were holding everything in the right place. And the dog looked at you the way nobody else in the room looked at you, like it saw something you didn't know you were showing. The dog doesn't wait to be told how you are. It doesn't ask, doesn't check in, doesn't read your words or your explanation of your day. It reads something that was never in the words to begin with. The body, not the face you arranged for the world. The body underneath the arrangement. The tension in the shoulders that you stopped noticing 3 years ago because it's always there. The breath that's slightly shallower than it should be. The weight in the step that's different from yesterday. The dog reads all of it, without trying, without analysis, without deciding what it means and whether to bring it up. It just receives and responds. It comes to you when you haven't cried yet, before the feeling has a name, before you've decided whether you're allowed to feel it, before you've assessed whether it's appropriate or significant enough to acknowledge. The dog is already there, already beside you, already pressing its weight against you in the specific way that says, something is here and I'm not leaving. It follows you to the room you go to be alone. Not because it wants something, because it noticed you needed company before you knew you needed it. It won't look away from your face when everyone else has moved on, when the conversation changed, when the moment passed, when the world decided the difficult thing was over. The dog is still looking, still reading, still present in the feeling that the room already left behind. The dog is not more intelligent than you. It is more honest than you. And the difference between those two things is larger than most people ever stop to consider. It doesn't perform comfort. It doesn't say the right thing, doesn't find the appropriate words, doesn't calibrate what level of response is socially correct for what you're going through. It just stays, with the specific faithfulness of something that has no agenda except to be where you are. And you feel it, even when you don't want to feel anything. Even when you've been successfully managing everything all day. The dog sits beside you and something in you that was held very tightly releases slightly. Not because it fixed anything. Because something finally saw what was actually there. The dog gives you something no person in your life consistently gives you. It's full, undivided, non-judgmental attention to exactly who you are at this specific moment. Not who you were, not who you should be, who you are right now. And here is the question that arrives after that, the uncomfortable one. The one most people feel briefly and then move past. If the dog can see it, why can't you? You have been reading yourself wrong for a long time. Not completely wrong, not wrong about everything, but wrong in the specific way that matters most, wrong about what is actually happening inside you right now. Today, in this moment, you know what you think. You are very good at knowing what you think. The analysis, the interpretation, the explanation of why you feel what you feel and what it means and what the appropriate response is. But what you actually feel, Underneath the thinking about the feeling, that is something different. And the dog knows it. And you, most of the time, don't. The body has been trying to tell you things, not in language, not in thoughts, in the way it tightens when something is wrong before the mind has assessed whether it's wrong, in the way it opens when something is right before the mind has approved it, in the exhaustion that has nothing to do with how much you slept, in the appetite that changes before you understand why, in the specific quality of the weight in your chest on certain mornings that tells you something the calendar doesn't. The body has been broadcasting continuously. Everything that is actually happening, every feeling that arrived before it had a name, every signal from the part of you that doesn't speak in words and doesn't wait for permission. The dog reads that broadcast. You learned, somewhere along the way, to turn the volume down on it until you could barely hear it anymore. And the consequences of that are not small. Every decision made from the mind while the body was saying something different. Every yes said while something inside was saying no. Every fine said while something that was not fine was waiting for someone to notice. Every morning the body woke up already heavy, and the mind immediately started planning the day as if the heaviness wasn't information. The dog treats the heaviness as information. The dog doesn't tell you to push through it, doesn't tell you it's not a big deal. Don't ask whether you have a good enough reason for it. The dog just acknowledges that it's there and stays. You have spent years becoming very skilled at not knowing how you feel. And the dog has spent that same time knowing exactly how you feel every single day. The dog reads what you felt before you were taught what to feel, before someone told you that this feeling was too much, before you learned that this reaction wasn't appropriate here, before you discovered that certain things you felt made the people around you uncomfortable. And so you learned to feel them more quietly, more privately, more efficiently, until feeling them at all became something that happened mostly in the gaps between everything else. The dog doesn't know any of that history. It doesn't know what you were taught, what you learned to suppress, what agreements you made with the world about which parts of yourself were acceptable. It just reads what is actually there, the original signal, before all the management. The dog sees the version of you that existed before you learned to be less than what you actually are, and it responds to that version every single time, without exception. What the dog is actually reading is not a mood, not an emotion as the mind names it. Something more fundamental than that. The dog is reading the gap, the distance between what you are presenting and what is actually happening, the specific frequency of that gap, and responding to it as if it is the most important thing in the room. Because for the dog it is. The dog has no interest in the presentation, has no investment in the performance, has no social reason to respond to the arranged version of you rather than the actual one. So it responds to the actual one every time. And the actual one, the one the dog responds to, is carrying something right now. Something that has been there longer than today. something the performance was built to manage, something that the mind has become very good at explaining and contextualizing and scheduling for later. The dog doesn't schedule it for later. The dog responds to it now. The problem is not that you don't know yourself. It is more specific than that. The problem is that you know yourself through the mind. And the mind has a particular relationship with difficult feelings. It explains them, manages them, contextualizes them, schedules them for when there is more time and space to deal with them. What the mind cannot do is simply to receive them, the way the dog receives them. Without commentary, without assessment, without deciding what they mean and what should be done about them, and whether they are proportionate to the situation. The mind is a brilliant explainer of feelings and a poor receiver of them. The dog is a poor explainer and a perfect receiver. And what you actually need most of the time is not an explanation. It is to be received. Think about the last time you actually felt something completely, not thinking about it, not describing it to someone, not assessed whether it was reasonable, just felt it. All the way through, until it finished doing what it came to do. The dog feels everything completely. Joy is complete. Fear is complete. Grief is complete. The dog doesn't manage its feelings into acceptable sizes. Don't spread them across the week so they're less concentrated. Don't save them for a more convenient moment. Each feeling arrives and is felt and moves through and ends. And then the dog is present again, fully, without the residue, without the unfinished feelings that accumulated because they were never allowed to finish. You are carrying unfinished feelings. Not because you are broken, because you learned that finishing them was not always safe or appropriate or convenient. And the unfinished ones wait. They do not disappear. They wait in the body. The dog reads them waiting there. And that is the real problem. Not that the dog knows you better than you know yourself. That is just the symptom. The real problem is that somewhere between childhood and now, you outsourced the job of receiving yourself. You gave it to the mind, which is not equipped for it. And the body has been waiting ever since for something that actually knows how to receive what it's been holding. The dog knows how, without training, without effort, without deciding to. It simply receives what is there. The way water receives whatever enters it completely, without resistance, without judgment. The dog can receive you. It cannot act on what it receives, cannot make the phone call you've been avoiding, cannot have the conversation that needs to happen, cannot change the situation that is creating the weight it reads every time you walk through the door. The dog sees everything and can do nothing with what it sees except stay beside it. The dog has been receiving you faithfully for years, receiving what you would not receive from yourself, staying beside what you arranged to leave behind, responding to what you were taught not to show. And the question that the dog cannot ask, but that its whole existence asks anyway: when will you do for yourself what you let the dog do for you? When will you receive what is actually there without explaining it first, without assessing whether it is proportionate? without scheduling it for later, without deciding it isn't important enough to feel all the way through. The dog has been modeling this for you every day, without knowing it was teaching anything, just by being what it is, a creature that receives completely, responds honestly, and stays. It means something is still there. Everything the dog reads, the tension, the weight, the unfinished feelings, the gap between what is shown and what is carried, all of it exists because something real is there, still broadcasting, still present, still available to be received if something knows how to receive it. The dog is proof that you haven't disappeared into the performance, that underneath everything managed and arranged and explained, the original signal is still there, still readable, still real. The dog doesn't love the version of you that has everything together. It loves the version of you that is actually there, and it has never once confused the two. That version, the actual one, the one the dog responds to, it has been waiting for the same attention the dog gives it. Not analysis, not management, not explanation, just to be seen, received, stayed beside. The dog already knows how. The question is whether you are ready to learn from it.